Hey guys, let's do a quick review of some of the steps we took today starting to work in our Lightroom catalog in Lightroom Classic. So I've got some images that I airdropped from my phone. Notice the DNG, so they're digital negatives, right? I am going to grab those. If you remember today in class, we created the files, right? So I have them under Photos 2026. I have started a composition folder for the next class as well. Obviously, you can add more images to it. I'm going to grab those babies and drop them in there, composition. Couldn't tell you why this time it worked to grab multiple ones where other times it doesn't. It's just the computer gods allowed me to do that. So I double check, make sure, yeah, they are in there, right? The DNG today at 7:15, perfect. So, great. This is my external drive. I have those images saved. Remember, you're going to do that every time you come into lab and we're working on photographs or other kind of digital images. So I'll go ahead and close that out. I'm going to come down to Lightroom Classic, open that up. I have already opened up my catalog that I'm using for the semester. I am going to be sure that I am in the library module. This is the picture I worked on today, if you recall, in class. I'm coming down to Import, select Import. You'll notice on the left, there is my external drive. I am going to go ahead and open up the composition. You will see I got all the new photos. They are all checked. If I do not want any of these to be brought into this catalog, I can uncheck them, right? I'm cool with these. I want all of them there. My file handling, standard preview is great. You can click or unclick build smart previews. We talked about that. Apply during import. You should have your metadata information that we already created today. So you can just select that for metadata. And then I'm going to hit import. I didn't use keywords in this particular import. So please notice all photographs under catalog, you'll see the two that I brought in earlier today. I'm sorry, the one that I brought in today and with the virtual copy. You will then also see the ones that I just brought in at this moment. You'll see this over in catalog. You'll see previous import and you'll see all photographs, right? Great. First thing I want to talk to you about is our collections, right? Over here on the left, you see catalog, which you understand that is folders, which is the physical folders on my external drive. This is my external drive. This was that folder that I created earlier today. I'm going to go ahead and close that up. Next, let's take a look at collections. Collections are virtual folders. Let's put it that way. It is a virtual way to organize your imagery within your Lightroom catalog. It's pretty easy. You'll see the plus sign to the right of collections. We will hit the plus sign and we are going to start out by creating a collection set. And this will make sense in just a moment. I am going to call that collection set composition because that is our first project. So I will create that. Notice it shows up over here under collection. Beautiful. Now, going ahead and choosing the plus sign, I am going to just create a collection, not to be confused with the collection set. I'll create that. I'm going to title this one Lines. Okay. And I want this to be inside a collection set. And you know what? I want that to be inside the composition collection that I just created. I'm going to unclick the include selected photos because I hadn't chosen any photos at that point consciously. And I'm going to hit create. Now, part of this first assignment, composition, obviously, is to ponder the compositional guidelines and to photograph, right, different elements of composition. So that can be shapes, that can be lines, that can be leading lines, that can be rule of thirds, that can be use of color, that can be use of contrast, all of the things that we discussed. I just took some quick photos earlier today. So part of these were about the curvy lines, right, of my hose, that down at the bottom here, right? These lines on one of the air conditioning, the window air conditionings. And this is to help, and this is bamboo, right? So this is to help just start creating some collections and labeling them as a guide for you, right? For you as you are organizing your information. So let's say I'm going to use this one as a shape, right? A triangular shape. So I'm going to come over here to, I will select it. I can select both of them. Select the first one, hold down my shift key and select the second one. Come over to collections, hit that little plus sign, create a collection, and I'm going to call this one shapes. And again, I'm going to include this within composition, and I'm going to include the selected photos. You'll notice that it also allows you to make virtual copies. That may be something you'd like to do if you know that you're going to try to use different editing techniques on each individual photograph. I will hit create. You will notice everything disappeared because over here on the left, it is just shapes that is selected. So let's go back to all photographs. I am going to select this one, number 11, hold down the shift key, select number 12 and number 13. I'm going to grab the first one selected within the picture frame, right, within where the picture is, and I'm going to drop it onto lines. Now, these two also sort of talk about shapes as well. So I'm going to select the two images of the rounded hose, right? And I am going to drop it within shapes. You know what? Pictures can be in multiple collection sets, right? It's all virtual. Lightroom is not copying and pasting, adding multiple files of that one picture. Remember, these are all thumbnails. It's all virtual. It's a fantastic way to organize if you have a lot of information. A lot of photographs and information. So again, we'll come back to all photographs. I want you to take a look at this particular one, right? When we're looking at it within the library module, if you look down at the bottom, this is called the grid view, right? Versus loop view. Loop is an old photographic term that just means closer up, right? You're looking at it individually. We'll go back to grid. So when you're looking at it, you'll see some information within the picture. You can always hover over things and it will tell you what that particular symbol means. Photo has development adjustments. This is if you've already opened it up in the develop module and already altered it. I have not done that with this photograph because it's coming out of your Lightroom app on your phone. It may have some slight adjustments to it. Don't panic. It's all good. It's still considered a raw file for our purposes. But that's what that one means. It looks like a plus and a minus. Let's go ahead and select the photos in a collection. When you do that, you notice that it shows me the two different collections I happen to put that picture in. Easy peasy. So before we go to develop, I do want to remind you guys that when you have these multiple images open, and let's say we're looking at these couple different bamboo images, I can select one, I can come down to my loop view, I can use my arrow keys to move through what we call down at the bottom the film strip. Again, based on actual film, right? It comes in strips when you develop it. So this kind of enables me to decide which of these I like, if any, right? So for my purposes, I feel like this is what I want. So I'm going to give this, remember we talked about a rating. So I'll go ahead and give that a 5-star. This one, let's say a 4-star. I'm going to give that one a 5-star. I kind of like that one. This one, you can give a 3-star or no star, right? It's up to you how you want to do this system. I'm going to come back to my grid view. You can also select the letter G to go back to grid view, by the way. That's a shortcut. You can see these stars, right? This is one of the rating systems. Again, much more helpful when you have lots more photographs. But I want to go up to the top and you'll notice where it says text, attribute, metadata, none. Attribute, I'm going to select. You will see different ways that I can organize this information and filter it. I am going to choose 5 stars, and only the images that I deemed 5-star worthy will show up. So that's a way, particularly when you're going through a lot of photographs, to quickly choose the ones that you believe are the ones that are images that are worthy of taking into the development, into develop module. So I can click that again to get rid of the rating system. I can click that again to get rid of it underneath the picture, right? Please note as well, when I have a picture selected, I can choose a number from 1 to 5, right? And that will go ahead and give me the rating as well. There is the flag system that we briefly spoke about, right? It's sometimes a quicker way if you're going through a lot of them and it's really just a yes or no situation. When you have it flagged, white means yes, right? Shortcut for in Lightroom, if you have an image selected, P is for pick, right? You see how the flag is selected, right? You can use the U, the letter U, to deselect it. So let's go ahead and I'll pick that. If you can see the tiny little white flags, again, going up to the attribute section, and I can just ask for just the images that I have flagged as picks. Select that again. Last but not least, you will see a color coding system. Now, I don't often use the color coding system. That doesn't mean you cannot. You may come up with your own sort of organizational method. If you start a photography business or have multiple areas that you are using your photographs, you could decide, for example, let's say certain color is for clients, other colors are for, you're going to put them on a website, whatever organizational system that you would like to have. I'll just show you really quickly. Again, if this is selected, you see color, right? The colors, the short cut to pick a color is 6 is red, 7 is yellow, 8 is green, 9 is blue. I don't know what purple is. I'm not sure what the shortcut is for that. But you can also always just go up to photo, right? And set color label. I guess purple doesn't have a shortcut. So I wasn't crazy, right? And you can select that. As always, guys, just remember Command Z, bloop, takes you back some steps. I can also just go back up to photo, set color to none, right? I can undo the flag. I can use all the shortcuts that you will eventually learn if you continue to use this, right? It's hard to remember all the stuff at the beginning. You will start to use what you need, and the shortcuts will literally become shortcuts because you will actually use them. So that's it for right now for video 1. I will see you in video 2.